So this man, what we know from the list of the fact that we had groups like Planned Parenthood on the list, the fact, some of the things we know about the manifesto, this was clearly politically motivated. It was, as you described, an assassination. And Melissa Hortman is the most incredible person that I wish everyone in the nation knew her. Went into politics with little kids. That's how I got to know her. We were both moms in politics, taught Sunday school, Girl Scout leader, balanced all of it, and ends up moving up in the legislature to be a beloved Speaker of the House, getting through with the governor, free lunch, getting through with the governor, all the work she did on paid family leave, and then this year with a tied legislature negotiates with her Republican counterpart and is able to get a budget done. She was extraordinary. And so when you hear about political violence, Dana, you got to look at the face of this woman and understand how real this is. In terms of this manhunt, $50,000 award from the FBI. We asked people to come forward. The chilling picture for us is the one where he had put on a mask. He's very smart. He's very evil. And that picture is taken from a Ring camera from a doorbell that many Americans may have right before he killed our friends. So you've got a massive manhunt, as you say, going on, and people are just following instructions from law enforcement. We want to get this guy. No, I haven't, and I will say that without me asking, they've added security, but not just for me, for other leaders in Minnesota. For me, I think people know that elected officials get threats. A lot of them you never hear about. Judges, election workers. This has gotten totally out of hand with threats against members of Congress. In 2016, there were like 1,700 of them. Last year, over 9,000 of them. And so one of the things that we have done, our delegation with Congressman Emmer and Congresswoman McCollum, Senator Smith, and others, we actually put out a joint statement that said we speak with one voice in condemning political violence. I think we need to see more of this across our country. People need to call people out. Some people need to look in the mirror and say, hey, I've got to stop this or stop my colleagues from doing this because it makes it much worse. We need to bring the tone down, and we also need to stand up when people do bad things, which is I know you're going to be talking about later in the show, and I'm glad there was such turnouts at these rallies because our democracy is something to protect, not try to bring down. I think just in general, there can be copycat crimes and people can get incentivized when they see things online. Something else I'd like to put more rules of the road in place on, because that is, you look at the man that bludgeoned Speaker Pelosi's husband. Of course he was off balance. Of course he was sick. But that case, you could see a through line with him reading this stuff online. So more has to be done on that front. And then, of course, more has to be done to protect elected officials regardless of party. And I appreciate that Senator Thune and Senator Schumer called me yesterday, and they're very focused on making sure there's added security. The first is to follow the advice of law enforcement right now, because it's been a changing situation with shelters in place, and to understand they're just simply trying to get a madman. But the second is that people like Melissa or Senator Hortman, who's struggling and holding in there with his life along with his wife, Yvette, that these are real people. And before you start ascribing motives or going after them online, maybe you should think about Melissa Hortman's life, right? A group just put out, a local group, put out a picture of her. I didn't even know this about her, that she trained dogs for veterans in her spare time. This is a person that did everything for the right reasons, and regardless of political parties, just look at her face and think about that before you send out your next post or before you say something that isn't just about your views. People can have different views on things, but remember that our democracy is something to cherish, and public service is a worthy thing to do. And Senator Hortman's children today, they didn't just lose a mom, they lost their dad, Mark, and it is Father's Day, so pray for them as well. Thank you.